What happens in the area of prevention, where our most HIV budget goes for, about 60 to 70%, really reaching out to all those who are vulnerable and who are, taking a risk or behavioral or whatever modes of risk. And what about those people like MSMs and, male who have sex with male and transgender community,
yes, that's
and sex workers who are living the HIV. And this group of people are modern migrant, spouses. And there are many more, women are emerging and evolving. That, group is going to be evolving, and so how are we going to address their prevention needs? And where
maybe we are going to have another discussion someday on that as to how we're going to meet the needs of those people. But right now, I'll have to say thank you to all four of you for coming today and for talking about this issue. So thank you so much for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
Well, friends, the key to empowering women is to provide them with education, ensure that they have economic opportunities and that they control their income and resources, reduce violence against women, and enable them to participate in decision-making at all levels of society. They should be strong enough so as not to let any man abuse their bodies. HIV/AIDS can be a huge price to pay. But the fact that India's HIV infection rates are lower than originally estimated is wonderful news. But it does not mean that women no longer are at a risk of HIV or that women's lives overall have improved. We have much more work to do towards understanding gender constraints and barriers for women in India. In this case, one can say that prevention is the only cure. So do not waste this precious gift of life, as there's nothing greater than life itself. Well, so on that note, it's time for me to wrap up this discussion. Do join me next week when we'll be taking up another gender issue on this show. Till then, this is Lottie Alaric saying goodbye, and please be safe.